Hi, my name is Jason Smith. I'm a Flight Dynamics Officer here at Johnson Space Center, and I'm with the Flight Dynamics Division. I got involved with NASA actually when I was in graduate school in college. And one of the things that I've loved throughout my whole schooling and throughout my life is working with math and science. I also, from the time I was a little boy, had a dream of being involved with the space program. And so having the chance to be as part of NASA and involved with the space program was something I always dreamed of. And when I went to graduate school, I was fortunate enough that at the time NASA was actually recruiting at some colleges and looking for people to hire. And so I had the opportunity to have an interview and then eventually come here and work for NASA. And I feel very, very fortunate that things just kind of worked out right in my life, that I have a job that I really enjoy and love to do. Since I've been here, I've actually, I work as a flight controller in mission control, and I've worked both with the space shuttle and with the space station. And my job at mission control is similar actually for both vehicles. For our console, where we support in mission control, we are in charge of the trajectory. And that basically means where is the vehicle going to go. And so for both the space shuttle and the space station, we're in charge of planning out all the different burns and maneuvers the vehicle has to do. In the case of the space station, we're trying to put the space station in the right place so that the space shuttle or some other vehicle that would have to come up and rendezvous with it would be able to do it. And then for the space shuttle, we're trying to plan out all the burns. When are we going to launch? When do we do the different burns in order to get rendezvous and docked with the space station and then to come home again. And so we make sure that that all is successful and also safe, that we don't run into some other satellite or some other piece of debris out there. The most exciting part of my job is definitely working in mission control. A lot of times the exciting parts are when things don't go quite as planned. As an example of this, during STS-133, that was a couple of missions ago, at the last minute, a few minutes leading up to launch, there was a situation on the ground at Kennedy Space Center where one of their computers wasn't really working. And so as they were trying to troubleshoot and come up with a solution, they wound up delaying their launch. They delayed the launch almost 3 minutes, and they wound up launching just 2 seconds before the end of their window. Now, 3-minute delay in the launch doesn't really seem like it should be that big of a deal, but when you're trying to rendezvous with a space station that's going 17,000 miles an hour, a 3-minute delay in your launch means that where you're trying to go is now 1,000 miles different from what you expected. So for my job, we're in charge of, within a matter of just a few minutes, trying to replan all the burns, all the maneuvers we have to do so that we can still make a successful mission. And it's really important that we do that because it's millions of dollars relying on us being able to rendezvous and dock with the space station. If we can't do it, the mission basically is a failure. But the great thing is we have a lot of training, we rely on our schooling, on the things we learn here, and we practice a lot before we go and do these missions. So on the day when it happened, everything went really well, we were able to replan everything, and was very successful. And to me, being a part of that team, and playing just a small role in making a successful space shuttle mission is the best part of my job. When I was in school, probably like a lot of students, learning things, I always had that question of, well, how am I going to apply these things to my life, to my career? In particular, things where you learn maybe about arithmetic or simple physics things. You think, well, gee, I have calculators, I have computers, do I really need to memorize all these things? And yet, in my job, one of the first things you learn is sometimes you don't always have time to go and rely on a computer. And sometimes, even if you have time, you have to double check what the computer is telling you. And so being able to think on your feet and to use rules of thumb and simple physics equations and arithmetic and algebra, all those things really play a huge role in what I do every day, working in mission control and trying to make sure that we plan the trajectory and that we have a good solution, that we bring the astronauts and vehicles home safely.